How does the way that a person shows up on social media relate to the way that they show up in their actual organic life?
Your relationship to social media is really a great mirror and a reflection for your relationship to yourself. Because when you are coming onto social media and you're figuring out a brand, what you're basically doing is you're extracting information and you're also extracting which parts of your personality you feel comfortable to share with strangers who ultimately at the end of the day don't know you. You're not in an intimate one-on-one relationship with them where like you can trust their judgment and you can trust that they're going to like hold you with love and compassion and like witness you in a way that helps you feel safe and comfortable. Very often, strangers on the internet will do the opposite of that, and they will witness you in a way that makes you feel very uncomfortable. So often when we decide which parts of us we're going to post online, it's usually the most marketable, likable, acceptable versions of us that, yes, are also like related to our brands and the businesses that we're building and, really are driven by that experience first and foremost for most people. But also if you're starting to share more personal stories, or if you're even just like finding out how to be authentic through your business and bring your creative self or your musical self or your sexuality and stuff online, and you're doing that, it's really this process of getting comfortable enough within yourself to bring things into a space full of strangers who you don't know how they're going to react to you. So I love seeing people on social media be self-expressed and share things shamelessly and unapologetically, because I'm like, cool, like you did enough work on yourself to be unapologetically authentic in who you are.
What about sharing? How much is too much? Is there any such thing? Obviously, it's an incredibly individual thing. But I wonder, so something that I see in the social media schema or world is kind of like forced vulnerability.
Yes, totally.
Or like, oh, I think it's trending to share about my polyamory or share about my whatever, shame. I have shame. I'm ashamed. Oh, I'm ashamed.
Yes.
I'm crying. There's an image of me crying.
Yeah.
Get the phone. I get the light. I'm crying. Got it? Okay.
So what's the difference? What's the difference for you? I have a question for you, because it sounds like you've got a little judgment, perhaps. Oh, yeah. And I'll answer your question.
Well,
too.
There's different iterations of it. There's like that would be like the quote unquote maybe shadow side of that.
Yeah, like
and then
what
there's
is
also
it?
Maybe just a really beautiful expression of like, wow, this is just a really authentic moment, and I want to
be
a symbol of maybe offering the invitation for greater liberation for someone else. And typically, instead of it just being a highlight reel, here's a moment of me having this. And there's also, I'm trying to garner wins or points based off of this like artificial vulnerability, which is like fucking gross. Yeah.
And you can usually feel that within yourself if that's what's happening for you, of like.
It's kind of psychopathic.
Correct.
By kind of, I mean, completely fucking psychopathic.
You really don't like this.
Can we breed
this
psychopathy?
This is not for Aaron Alexander.
I'm all ruffled.
Do not fake cry.
I'm ruffled up, Bucci.
I feel you though. When I did research for this book like a couple years ago with my audience, and I asked them what was the thing that they really struggled with the most about social media. And the content creators said that they really struggled with this feeling of not knowing how to be fully authentic, or struggling with like it might not be okay to be authentic, and like whatever that means to them. And then the people that were less so content creators and just consumers, they hated that fake performative authenticity. They hate like sensing it in people that they're just doing something for followers or for marketing or whatever. And I think people are more like attuned to that than ever before. I think people can like sniff it out real quick, and you can feel when someone is doing something as like a performance. And I think that it's such a personal journey to really notice like when am I doing something that is a bit of a performance, because we're all kind of performing even just a little bit. Like even on this podcast, like we're not talking the way that we would talk if we were in a coffee shop. We're very, very close to it because we're both very authentic people.
Pretty close.
But like our tone of voice is a little louder or whatever, right? We're sitting crisscross, we would do this.
That's true.
So we're pretty authentic people. Our conversation's going to be pretty authentic, but it's just like a little notch up.
Yeah.
Right? And some people it's different. Like if you're less comfortable with yourself and you feel as though it's only okay, or you're only going to be liked, or you're only going to get followers, or even if there's a part of you that's like, I think people are going to hate if I say it this way or share this part of my story, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm kind of controlling the narrative. I'm like organizing what I want my brand to look like, but we all do that. So what's the line, you ask, between that performative vulnerability and authentic vulnerability where you're really sharing? I think on a personal level for me, and what I found with a lot of people that I talk to, is being able to get to a point in your own personal process with your share where you recognize, I'm sharing this because, number one, I have like worked on integrating this part of myself to feel comfortable with me. I feel comfortable enough with this part of me because I've done personal work on it, whether it's like, again, your sexuality, or like a story that feels a little cringy because you feel like there's something with your self-worth there, or, you know, even what you eat, or you're like, you've changed your diet. Like I've talked to people that have been vegan online for years and like they had to change their diet to, you know, something that wasn't vegan. It's really scary because people are going to attack them or whatever. I think you get to work on, number one, the first layer, getting comfortable with yourself. Number two, being comfortable with being seen, judged, and criticized, and like having enough support in your life, having enough support within yourself to know that if it's a topic or like something that might be touchy for other people that don't know you, that don't have the context, or that just aren't really ready to like lovingly and compassionately meet you in your share, you will be okay. And also, finally, the third level is that there's something in it for the other people that you're bringing it to. And I think that having those first two layers really kind of down pat before you share something, and then also really recognizing like, and I'm doing this because people are, you know, watching because they're looking to get something out of this as well. And like, yes, they follow me for me, but they're also here to better their own lives, and they're, you know, following for whatever content I create too.